Title: The Wandering Souls of the Alley of the Kiss. At the heart of the historic city of Guanajuato, Mexico, lies a place haunted by a romantic and tragic legend. This paranormal story unfolds in the Alley of the Kiss, a narrow alley that has captivated the imagination of locals for generations. The Romance of the Alley of the Kiss. In the 18th century, a young girl named Carmen lived with her family in Guanajuato. She fell deeply in love with a young man named Luis, but their families were in conflict. They decided to meet in secret in the Alley of the Kiss, a place known for its proximity, the fatal kiss. One evening, as Carmen and Luis passionately kissed in the alley, Carmen's father caught them. Consumed by anger, he stabbed his own daughter on the spot. The love-filled kiss thus turned into a fatal one, tainted by Carmen's blood. The Wandering Souls. Since this tragedy, it is said that the souls of Carmen and Luis haunt the Alley of the Kiss. Witnesses tell of seeing intertwined shadows in a passionate embrace, feeling the intense emotional energy of love and betrayal that persists in this place. Visitor testimonies. Visitors to the Alley of the Kiss have reported paranormal experiences, such as sensations of intense cold, murmurs of indistinct voices, and even fleeting visions of two figures kissing in the moonlight. Offerings of love. The residents of Guanajuato customarily bring offerings to the spot where Carmen was tragically killed. Candles, flowers, and photographs are placed in tribute to the interrupted love of Carmen and Luis, creating a fleeting altar in the alley. Nuances of the night. Some claim that the energy of the Alley of the Kiss varies depending on the time of day. At night, when the alley is bathed in darkness, the atmosphere becomes particularly charged, with visitors feeling the tragic history lingering in the air. The spectacle of eternal love. The Alley of the Kiss continues to be a place where love and tragedy intertwine, creating a unique paranormal narrative in the very fabric of Guanajuato's history. The wandering souls of Carmen and Luis remain there, captive in their unchanging embrace, reminding visitors that love can transcend even death. Title: Shadows of the Canals of Venice. Venice, the city of romantic canals and picturesque alleys, also conceals paranormal mysteries that intertwine with the enchanting backdrop of its ancient districts. The Cursed Black Plague. In the 14th century, Venice was struck by the Black Plague, a devastating epidemic that claimed thousands of lives. It is said that the Venetian canals still bear the imprint of this tragedy, with wandering souls seeking eternal peace. Ghostly gondolas. The silent gondolas gliding on the canals create a fairy tale scene by day, but the night reveals a different story. Witnesses report seeing gondolas moving mysteriously without gondoliers, as if the spirits of lost sailors guide them through the calm waters. The White Lady of Cardario. The Gothic Palace of Cardario, renowned for its beauty, also has a dark reputation. It is said that a white lady haunts its corridors, mourning the loss of her love. Some claim that her presence foretells misfortune for those residing in the palace. La Fenice Theatre. The famous La Fenice Theatre has been destroyed by fire several times in its history. It is said that the spirits of deceased artists and music lovers continue to applaud in the darkness, perpetuating the vibrant spirit of the place. The Bridge of Sighs. The Bridge of Sighs, known for connecting the Doge's palace to the prisons, owes its name to the sighs of the condemned, crossing its arches towards their fateful destiny. Visitors report feeling an oppressive atmosphere and hearing barely audible whispers along the bridge. Lights of the lagoon. On some evenings, fishermen and residents claim to have seen strange lights in the lagoon. These luminous phenomena, sometimes called la luci della laguna, are attributed to water spirits or guardian angels watching over the city. The Mystical Carnival. During the Carnival of Venice, opulent masks often conceal more mysterious faces. Legends circulate about encounters with supernatural beings among the masks, adding a mystical dimension to the celebration. Haunted alleyways. The narrow and labyrinthine alleys of Venice are often the stage for fleeting apparitions. Flickering shadows and indistinct murmurs have been reported by those wandering through these secluded passages at night. Venice, with its rich history and winding canals, continues to enchant and intrigue visitors worldwide, revealing its paranormal mysteries with the silent waves of the lagoon. Happened 3 years ago. I had just returned from a vacation outside my town. and my bus dropped me off at the train station around 1:30 in the morning. I reached the main road and started looking for a taxi to get home, but there was neither a taxi nor anyone in sight. I stood there for 5 to 8 minutes, scanning both sides of the road, trying to find a taxi without success. Suddenly, to my left, I saw a girl in a white sari, a traditional outfit for women in my country. She wasn't there a moment before, standing about 10 meters under a streetlight. The fact that I hadn't seen her just before was rather eerie, but I thought I might have simply overlooked her while searching for a taxi. However, my heart immediately started beating fast when I looked to the other side to search for a taxi again, and upon turning back, she spoke to me, just a few steps away now. She had arrived at an astonishing speed, and my heart was almost pounding out of my chest with fear when she said, "Can you do me a favor?" I was trembling at that moment. I took 2 steps back. It was almost 2 a.m., and this girl in a white sari had appeared as if by magic. She mentioned that she needed to get home, it was quite late, and she would appreciate someone to accompany her, asking if I could do her this favor. It wasn't far from here. Just to provide context, at this hour, it's very unusual to see women alone outside at night, simply because it can be quite dangerous for a lone woman at this hour. Despite my fear, knowing this, I walked with her, fearing for her safety if I hadn't. We walked. I didn't want to talk or make eye contact. I didn't even ask her where she was going. I simply followed her, walking beside her but keeping my distance. She didn't say a word throughout the time we walked, which was unsettling. After walking for perhaps 15 minutes, we arrived at an iron gate. She made a cheerful face and said she didn't live far from here, thanking me. She turned around and started walking. I thought my job was done and began walking in the opposite direction to try to find my taxi again. Curiosity pinched my chest, and I wanted to know which way she had gone. When I turned my head, just seconds after she left, I looked, and there was no one there. I looked at the iron gate, and I couldn't see her beyond the distance, which would be unlikely given the few seconds that had passed since I last saw her. When I examined the gate more closely, I noticed there was a chain and a padlock around it, so there was no way for her to have unlocked it, closed it, and passed through in such a short time. That's when I looked up and saw the sign above the gate, and it said it was a cemetery. Then I started running. I saw a mosque in the distance. Thinking it would be a safe haven, I rushed towards it, opened the gates, and fell to the ground. The imam or priest came to greet me with a stick, thinking I was a thief. When he saw me on the ground, he spoke to me and asked what had happened, and I explained everything to him. He understood and told me the following story. 8 years ago, a girl was sexually assaulted, and her life was taken from her. People found her lifeless body under the streetlight, the same streetlight I had seen earlier. Her face was disfigured. No one could identify her, and no one came to claim the body. No complaint was filed with the police, and the perpetrators are still at large. Since no one claimed the body, the locals buried her in the cemetery. Since then, many people, especially young men, have had interactions with her, some hostile, others peaceful. I am glad that mine was different, and I don't think I will forget my encounter with the girl of the night anytime soon. Title: The Manor of the Frontier. In the heart of the vast Texan plains lies a dilapidated mansion, once majestic, now immersed in the shadow of its past. This mansion, known as La Frontera, hides dark secrets and a true history that haunts the memories of the Texas residents. Mysterious origins. Built in the mid-19th century, La Frontera was originally the residence of a prosperous plantation family. However, rumors persisted about the brutal methods employed to maintain their wealth, arousing suspicions in the local community. Deadly epidemic. In the following years, a yellow fever epidemic struck the region, decimating the mansion's family. It is said that the cries of the dying still resonate in the dilapidated halls, adding a note of despair to the already gloomy atmosphere. Workers' rebellion. Farm workers, exploited and mistreated, rebelled against the mansion's owners. La Frontera became the stage for a violent riot marked by brutal clashes. Some claim that the spirits of the oppressed still wander, seeking justice for the injustices suffered. Curse of La Frontera. After the rebellion, the mansion was abandoned, condemned to slowly degrade under the weight of the curse that seemed to haunt it. Witnesses tell of seeing ghostly silhouettes through broken windows, evoking the memory of lost souls. Supernatural encounters. Bold explorers have reported paranormal experiences during nighttime visits. Whispering voices, fleeting apparitions, and unexplained phenomena have been witnessed, fueling the mansion's reputation as one of the most haunted places in Texas. Restoration attempts. Over the decades, several restoration attempts have been made, but each effort has been doomed to failure. Strange incidents, mysterious accidents, and supernatural phenomena have thwarted all initiatives to rehabilitate La Frontera. The Forgotten Manor. Today, La Frontera remains a forgotten place in the heart of Texas. Local residents avoid its surroundings, fearing the curse that seems to persist. The dark and mysterious stories of this dilapidated mansion resonate as a silent warning across the vast Texan expanses, reminding the curious that some shadows cannot be erased by time. Title: The Lights of the Night off the coast of Scotland, where the waves of the Atlantic Ocean caress the rugged cliffs, lies a remote island known as Eilean Mor. At first glance, it appears to be merely an inhospitable landmass, but among seasoned sailors, it is reputed to be haunted by strange phenomena. The legend begins in the 19th century, when the Eilean Mor lighthouse was built to guide ships through the treacherous waters surrounding the island. 3 lighthouse keepers were assigned to this solemn task, and for years, they carried out their duties without incident. However, on a frigid winter night in 1900, everything changed. The lighthouse logbook, later discovered by rescuers, detailed weeks of relative calm, followed by a peculiar note. On the last day of the year, December 31st, the head keeper wrote, "The storm has ended. The sea is calm. Thank God. The others are quiet tonight." It was the last entry. When a rescue team arrived on the island after several stormy days, they found the lighthouse in a peculiar state of abandonment. The front door was locked from the inside, the clocks had stopped, and there was no sign of the keepers. The kitchen table still bore half-empty plates, as if the men had left in haste. Further investigation revealed even deeper mysteries. The keepers' coats were missing, though their hats and boots remained neatly arranged. Footprints led from the lighthouse to the edge of the cliff, but there was no indication that they had returned. In the following weeks, extensive searches were conducted on the island and its surroundings. No trace of the keepers was found. Some reported hearing voices in the nightly wind, desperate calls carried by the waves, but no one ever saw the missing men. Adding to the mystery were the lights. Witnesses claimed to have seen strange glows dancing on the sea on stormy nights, phosphorescent flashes that seemed to emanate from the very spot where the lighthouse was anchored. Some villagers even claimed to hear familiar voices carried by these lights, whispering prayers and calls for help. Years passed, but the Eilean Mor lighthouse remained deserted, its silent walls gazing upon the ocean. Some say the lights still persist to this day, that the souls of the lost keepers still seek to guide wayward ships to safety. The once overlooked island became famous for its mysteries, a place where the sea itself seemed to hold the darkest secrets of those who had served it with devotion. Sailors avoided the area, fearing the ghostly lights and whispers carried by the wind, a reminder that the sea could take as much as it gave, and sometimes it kept its mysteries in the depths of its abyss.